So a wild market. Yeah, even though I'm going on vacation this evening to Austria for a week for skiing, I still wanted to make a video because this week has been absolutely wild with crazy selling. Um, if we look at the from Monday's high, what did price do? Yeah, like almost 25% down. So definitely some wild price action. So I wanted to quickly go into it, look at some higher time frame levels and then also the lower time frame, and then yeah, just form a bias because this will be the last video I make for the coming week. But when I'm back, yeah, you will hear more about it. But I have a project with the Discord and daily live streams and a lot of stuff coming up. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But for now, let's dive into the price action, because what we had was, of course, if we zoom in some more, I think everyone remembers it. We formed that 1, 1, 2, 3 Model 1 distribution at the highs, and then yeah, the famous October 10th crash, from basically where the market started to trade very heavily with a lot of selling coming from Binance. And then from here, basically, price has just been trending down in this way on a daily. And then this was the moment where price formed that range we have been talking about over and over again past weeks, where we made that comparison with the 2022 fractal, where we also topped out, moved down, created a range with a naked low, sell side liquidity created, a deviation above, and yeah, there we continuously made the comparison that if we would accept back under the value area high, which price did around here, right there, that we would see a very high likelihood of reaching the target of the PO3, which was the range low. And that if we would continue the 2022 fractal, there we also saw that price continued lower, where we had a local range. There we back in 2022 we had a local redistribution in the form of a Model 2. However, here we broke down from the range, formed like this local range. I was looking for shorts because yeah, in like 2022 we also made like a low, a high, then we swept that high, and then we came back for like a Model 2, and we had that like 1, 2, 3 dump lower. However, this time the sweep here did not happen, so we had a high, a naked high, and then a lower high, and then here some sketchy price action before a strong sell-off, and the downtrend continued. So yeah, here we did not, or at least I did not catch a redistribution short. But from here, price basically went lower, and yeah, eventually it tapped into a high time frame demand. So let me delete this for a moment. Then where is price currently? So back then we already broke our weekly structure around here, and then yeah, the more obvious level was right here, and now we also broke this. So yeah, we are definitely in a downtrend. But we have reached a pretty important level, which was the 2021 all-time high, and then this former accumulation range, where price spent quite a lot of time. Let's see, from March 13 till the breakout was like 237 days, and there we also had like a 1, 2, 3 Model 1 going over into Model 2, and this created that upwards push into all-time highs. So here a lot of accumulation happened to initiate this move into new all-time highs. So this is definitely a big level, and then we can also see that price, yeah, if you refine it more, you have a few demand zones. I marked them out yesterday as well, but yeah, like our OBM. So let's see here, this is an obvious one, then one above, but there are multiple. But yeah, you can just say that this whole range, you can also look at it from the volume profile, from high to the breakout level. Let's include that last breakout candle. And you can see that you have your value area high right there, POC right here, and value area low right there. So if we zoom out, then price has now bounced from like exactly that POC level, which was also a OBIM on like the 4-day, 5-day, something like that. But you can see that price tapped into the POC and is now bouncing from it. However, as I said, a lot of people will still try to catch the low, and now they see price pumping a few percent and they think, shit, I missed the bottom and things like that. But yeah, either you are an investor and then these are very good levels to buy, but else it's just better to wait for range, because price will never, after this aggressive of a move down, do like a fee reversal and then break structure and continue the bull market. That's not gonna happen. What can happen is that price makes a big relief right there and then starts to form a range, and that's where you can play your accumulation models again. But for now, yeah, I think this will take a long time before we gonna see any good of a bottom. So yeah, if we just look at, you can always look at like structure and time. So if you look at structure like this low, lower high, lower low, then to me, what is most likely is that we form like a big range around here, and only then, in my opinion, it has enough well to eventually go to new all-time highs, but that can take a long time, and it can happen in like the 50 to 70k range, but it can also be 40 to 70, anywhere like that. But I think that what we saw right here, this accumulation range before we had that move into all-time highs, that we will see a similar case, just like this, but then right there. So my overall expectation is that we're gonna see a lot of ranging price action this year. So be prepared to trade the ranges. But yeah, as you know, I love ranges, so you don't see me complain. Some few levels. This was the range that was broken down, so that's an important level. Also on the 12-hour, you can look what is the structure. Well, current structure, if we skip it like this, is like low, low, high, lower, low. So clearly downtrend on the 12-hour. You can say, okay, always for me, the red lines are where my horizontal level. So this is horizontal max level. Right there, you can also look at 4-hour. What is 4-hour? There you can say, okay, on 4-hour, you have from this high, low here. Yeah, you can say it's structure. So on the 4-hour, this is your downwards structure. Then you can look, okay, what do we have on the 1-hour? Do we on the 1-hour have structure from here? Well, if I count the structure, it's like low, lower, high. This is one candle, low, lower, high. Low. So on the 1-hour, this is your structure. So if you look at it from this point, this is all just a downtrend. So trying to catch the bottom here doesn't make any sense to me, at least. We can relieve really higher, as said, but eventually I expect us to bottom out. We can look what is the structure. Like, we only have like a 50-minute bullish structure, because if you look at the 50-minute, you have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So here you have the bullish break, but that is like a 50-minute break, so that's not in comparison to 1-hour, 4-hour, 12-hour, daily, weekly, which is all bearish. So the longing right now, like, you can play the scalps, but expecting this to be the long-term bottom doesn't make too much sense to me. And then also, if you watch at how structure is now moving up, this is not the most convincing way to move up, because eventually you create, again, sales and liquidity. Here you have some supply zones, so even if you move up like this, already higher, then eventually I expect the price to come down again, and then you can watch for potential range creations, and that's the higher probability plays to that I'm interested in. So let's say price comes down here, potentially you have like 1, 2, 3, but you don't have good structure here to confirm that, so I'm not interested to play this right now. But if price comes back to the mid-range, you confirm your range, and then you can look for either distribution models there or for accumulation models there. That are the higher probability plays. Right now, yeah, not that interested to trade it. Let's see, here I have some more levels, yeah. So here we have some supply, price is now in at supply. You can say on the 15, you have internal structure. So let's see, of course you have like low, this is your internal structure. So technically that is only breaking bearish if you break this low, but then you can also look at what is the structure in this local leg right here, and then you have like low, high, low, high, and because you're now in supply, high time frame trend is down, this could potentially just be a relief before lower. So if you, New York is in 6 minutes, let's see how New York goes, but if you close aggressively below this, get the backtest, this can potentially be a short back into this demand, and then there you can look for longs again. But this is potentially, yeah, to me this looks still more corrective than impulsive. So yeah, can look for potential shorts, but overall, yeah, I expect just ranging price action, this to potentially top out, come back here, and then look for this range to play. So that's my main view. If we can quickly look at what are, okay, that's not good. If we look at the statistics, for example, like today the low is pretty strong. We have a good low created right here, so that we take out that low today is not very likely. But if we also look, like we have moved already 13, yeah, it doesn't look that much because we have moved so much, but today we have a bounce from 13%. So here you can also see 1.1% of the days moved further than 13%. So yeah, we already made quite a big move from the lows. So yeah, that could add some confluence that potentially here you have your local distribution model. But since we have made that much downside, the reliefs can also be a bit bigger. So take that into account. But what's more important is the weekly statistics, where we can see that, like here, this flip rate is 0.6%. Here, low P1 flip rate, 0% of the weeks took out the weekly high. So yeah, what we have seen this week is quite some special price action. And you can also look if it is now loaded, yes. So look at the data. Here we can see that overall spot is still selling heavily. So now we see a little bounce, but nothing significant. Quite a lot of short open interest probably in the market. But what I wanted to show is like the liquidation heat maps. Because since we moved down so much, you can see that a lot of this sell side liquidity that we had has been taken, and also a lot of liquidation happened. So yeah, a lot of coins have changed hands, but yeah, based on that alone, it's not the time to become too bullish yet. And they are not loading like I want, but yeah, like to the upside, we also have quite a lot of liquidity levels left behind. On the downside some, but as I said, overall structure is still lower until proven otherwise. So yeah, I would look for supply failure or like clean break above this supply, because this is more the cleaner structure compared to this structure in my opinion. So breaking above here, then I would maybe say, okay, this could be the temporary low, and then look for bounces, and then maybe you get a range from here till here, and then the moment you touch here, touch the mid-range, this is your new range to look. So I'm not here to make predictions what is gonna happen, but yeah, it's just, I think it's always what I had in the past is that I wanted to predict what would happen, or that I thought, okay, if this is gonna happen, I need to be in that. But then you take a lot of losses, and then eventually it's obvious, and at that moment you don't have any bullets more, or you're too scared to take a trade. So yeah, in my opinion, it's just better to wait till it's obvious and then take a trade, because eventually you get your clean triggers, you get your clean ranges, and then you want to play them. And yeah, don't try to be the hero in between just because you want to make your money back, or you want to catch the bottom, or you want to be show that you have a good P&L or something. It's good for your ego, but not good for your overall trading performances. So I will not recommend that. I think most of my plans are clear. What I wanted to say. For the short term, I like this wick for potential higher low plays into that demand, and beside that, a lot of resistance ahead. We are still in a strong downtrend, so longs are counter trend. Shorts make more sense, but is this a place to look for fresh shorts besides scalps? I also don't think so. So maybe only interested if we get a bigger squeeze and then look for shorts again right there. Otherwise, look for scalps. Like here, you can look for scalp shorts, scalp longs. Beside that, just wait for some more price action. Probably the best thing to do, in my opinion. I am gonna enjoy some skiing next week, so I won't share too much updates. I will check my phone, will answer the questions and stuff, but no video updates for me. But as said, when I'm back, they will come back in full force. So looking forward to that, and thanks for watching again. And don't forget to leave a like if you like this recorded content. So thanks for watching, and cheers.